Hey guys, how's it going? I'm IAmPattyJack, and I've been playing a game called Wartile over the last couple days, little bits here and there, and so far it's actually very interesting. I really want to talk about this one because, I mean, look at it. It looks beautiful. This is a beautiful video game, and it's got a lot of really interesting mechanics that are very old school. They throw back a lot of mechanics from tabletop RPGs of past, like, say, I don't know, Warhammer, like the 40k universe, the old tabletop version of that. I never played those when I was a kid or anything. I still haven't really played them. I've never been around groups that do. I used to always see them in, like, malls and stuff, though, see the cool setups and be like, oh, that looks really cool, but I had no idea how to interact with it or how to play it or anything. So, you know, obviously nowadays I can kind of pick it up very easily. So when I saw this game, I was instantly interested because it's kind of like a video game version of just a tabletop game, and I could see how so many people would be super interested in that, because video games are great, right? But every now and then you want to have like that feeling of getting a good collectible item, getting a cool miniature of some sort, and this game offers you that in spades. Like, the characters, they're not like fully fleshed out or anything, but they're just like, hey, here's a miniature. You can get that, you can customize it, you can do all this cool stuff that you can't really do with, like, the tabletop version of these games. Like, you can paint them and everything, but this game allows you to equip them and everything like that. Like, everything you'd expect from a video game, it allows you to do, but it's got that really cool tabletop aesthetic. And I think that's really going to be the driving force for people who are interested in this game. Like, I think this game was kickstarted. This is what I think about when I think of Kickstarter, just weird, interesting ideas, and I think for the most part, so far, this game kind of capitalizes on that. It's still in early access right now, so I'm not going to be super harsh and critical on it, because it, for the most part, does what it's doing about as well as I could expect from an early access game, but there are a few things. Now, I already mentioned that I really like how all the characters and the environments looked, because, I mean, again, look at them. They look fantastic. The animations are simple, but that kind of works, you know? It's kind of like when the chess pieces were fighting in the first Harry Potter movie, and they would, like, do very kind of, like, stone robotic animations. That works for a game like this. I love all that stuff, so that's totally good. Like I said, the miniatures, they all look great. The maps look fantastic. It reminds me of, like, playing any game with, like, a tile hex-based map or anything like that. Absolutely awesome. I think the one big problem I have with it right now is more so that the combat isn't turn-based. I mean, it's kind of turn-based. It's like, I'm going to call it pseudo-turn-based because I have no other explanation for it. Basically what happens is your characters will auto-attack if they're near something, and the auto-attack is just like, it's like you attack, then the enemy attacks, and then you attack again, stuff like that. But the thing is, when you move characters, they have like a cooldown when you move them, so like the little ring around them has to reach 0, I guess, or reset, and then you can move them again. And that's totally fine for the most part, except sometimes when you're in a fight, you need to reposition your character quite a bit, because that's something you do quite a bit in this game, where the AI will try to flank you, or you'll try to flank them, and other stuff like that. And what can happen is that because the controls aren't super precise, you can end up in situations where you put your character accidentally in the wrong tile, they end up taking another hit, or I've noticed that the tiles can be a little bit over snappy, so you try to put them on a tile, but it doesn't quite work, so you don't move the character at all. That's kind of annoying as well, and it can end up with your character, in the worst case scenario, obviously dying, but usually you'll end up just taking an extra hit or two. But because of that, it can still be fairly annoying. So I think that in this case, going like the more turn-based route might have been more beneficial, or I would love to see like that be an option in this game instead, because it's annoying when you accidentally mess up something that you feel like is the UI's fault in any video game. And yeah, it's something that could definitely be worked on. That being said, I like a lot of the other mechanics in the game, like just being able to walk around the map and feel like you're really picking up a tile, or picking up a character and stuff, and like placing it somewhere on the board is fantastic. I love every second of that. I was watching the Co-optional podcast, I think, and I think it was this game they were talking about, where they said, like, this is the perfect game to have in VR, because you can be, like, around the board, you can pick up your characters and everything, and I totally agree. This is, like, the ultimate VR experience to me. That would be absolutely fantastic. I like a lot of the other mechanics in it, too. I mean, you have cards that you can utilize, like, special abilities and stuff as well. A lot of games like this seem to be utilizing, I'm not going to say Hearthstone mechanics, but card mechanics in some way, shape, or form, so that basically it's like, you get mana or whatever equivalent in said game is, and you spend that mana to basically use, like, heal up your characters, or to do, like, special abilities and stuff, and it adds, like, an extra layer to the game, where you feel powerful. It's kind of like the card version of an activative ability in an MMO. And I love seeing that. I want to see that in, like, plenty more games. I think that's really cool. So yeah, overall, Wartile, I think it's a really interesting concept. They've nailed down the aesthetic. I think that it can be a little bit cheap in some places. I feel like sometimes you get a little bit overwhelmed easily, and sometimes you can fail levels down to what I would call luck, to put it bluntly. But overall, it's really interesting. I think this is going to be a very niche audience that this game is going to get, but I think it's going to be a very good one, a very positive one. So that's something that I'm going to check back on this game. I'm going to look back on it in a couple months, probably a year or so, or whenever it gets fully released, and I'm going to see where this one goes, because my first impression is mostly positive, and again, I love the aesthetic. It's something that I could easily spend an evening on, just looking at all my characters and collecting them, and kind of like itching that scratch in my brain that's like, oh, I want to collect all the things and all this stuff and have the coolest things in any game. And this game is literally for that. It's literally about collecting all these different cool little Viking warriors and stuff. Yeah, no, I could get used to this. That's pretty cool. If you've tried this game or you have any opinions on it, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, or continue the discussion on Twitter or on my Discord server if you'd like to. I am PattyJack. I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day.